What's up, buddy? This is Zach with Wrestling My Thoughts, and that was night one of WrestleMania 39, which was insane. Just gonna go ahead and get right to it because I've had my homie waiting here. Um, so let's go ahead. Oh, I just lost him. 1 second. While we're waiting, we have the little guy here. What'd you think of night one, Mister? Good. What? Take that out of your mouth. What was your favorite match of the whole night, do you think? Because you were kinda in and out throughout the whole show. So out of everything you watched, what was your favorite?
Wesley.
No, from today.
Oh, favorite Wesley
I
was?
mean, just from WrestleMania, not from NXT. That's a whole different deal.
Wait there. What matches are the insults?
The main event,
Yeah.
what a lot of people are saying is the one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time. We can't see you. Jump
Wait,
back into
Dad,
the
I'm
shot.
gonna go find my toy.
Okay. No, we're doing on this episode, we're doing WrestleMania 39. We're gonna do toy review a little bit later on. Okay? All right. So the show, as far as matches, kicked off with the first surprise, in my opinion. We had United States champion Austin Theory retaining against the best of all time, John Cena. I honestly had John Cena winning this one. I was assuming he was going to take it to an open challenge, or not tomorrow night, on Monday on Raw, but apparently not. So let's go. With that being said, before I jump too much into it, we'll go ahead and bring on the Lord Lyskin himself. There he is. Can you hear me okay? No, we're not doing that today, bud. A little bit of technical difficulties. I think you're on mute, sir.
All right, there you go. Is that better?
There you are. Yeah, now I can hear you okay.
Okay.
Man, what a show.
And not the best one I've seen, but not the worst either.
Really? You thought it was kind of in the middle or what?
Yeah, I would definitely say mid for sure. There was a couple matches there. Listen, as much as I love Trish, Lita, I don't particularly like Becky, but she was teamed up with two of my all-time favorite women's. Like I could stomach her. That match was just not it. It was just not. Unfortunately, it pains me to say it was not it. All the
Just
other
weren't feeling it.
matches, yeah, all the other matches aside from the main event and the four-way tag team were
Mhm.
mid. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. I'm sorry. Rhea and Charlotte was good too. All those three, everything else aside, mid. Those three were top notch for sure.
Dang, coming with the hot takes already, huh?
I'm calling them how it is. I've been around WrestleMania for going on about 20 something years now, so I just call them how I see them.
That's why I love doing these with you, bro, honestly, because whether your opinions go kind of with what everyone's thinking or they don't, you're unapologetic about it. Like this is what it is. It's how I feel. Take it or leave it.
Pretty much,
I
man. That's all
mean,
I can do.
yeah, that's all. That's all any of us can do, honestly. I enjoyed it. I like you've been saying all week. I started to see it now. I do have a bit of mania goggles on. It's my favorite time of year.
For
So
sure.
yeah,
Definitely
I
exciting.
personally enjoyed it.
I did as well. It was good. Like those three matches, like were enough for me to enjoy the night. Like I like no, like I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, it was a bad WrestleMania or a bad night one of WrestleMania. Like no, I can't sit here and say that with a straight face. Those three matches, I wouldn't say saved the night, but definitely made it good.
Right, right. That makes sense. So how did you feel about Theory beating Cena?
I didn't like that. But okay,
You had Cena winning too.
I have two views on that. I have one from a fan's perspective, and I have one from a business perspective. Obviously, the business perspective is John Cena's receding baldness on the top told the whole story. There's no way he's going to go ahead and come back and just go ahead and hold on to the title, the United States title. So I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from a business standpoint, yes. Okay, I get it. You can't have him hold the belt. From a fan's point of view, like, no, I definitely wanted Cena to win.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I said at the top, I was almost certain Cena was going to win because you look at the story where Cena's basically running down Theory and just kind of telling him, like, you're not ready, blah blah blah.
Right.
I didn't think at WrestleMania, no less, that Theory was gonna, I mean, not beat him clean, but
Well, obviously, yeah.
he just pinned him. So I don't know. I don't know where he goes from here. Does he go? He can't lose the title anytime soon after a win like that.
No. That's a good question. Like, I honestly don't know where he goes from here. I don't know who they're gonna bring back. I heard something about them bringing back Shinsuke, which, like, I'm a huge fan of. And I know around this time after Mania, like, rosters change. We've talked about off camera or off record about a draft being possibly implemented, like, back in the day. So we'll see who goes where and what new talent comes. But yeah, it's definitely a toss up. I can't really say what's next.
Yeah, you can definitely feel, and that was a big thing I wanted to talk to you about too. See if you felt the same. You can definitely feel almost like a reset is coming.
For sure. Yeah. Well,
Like
yeah.
Like once night two's over. I'm here. One sec. There we go. We're good. Yeah, I was saying once the dust is cleared after tomorrow night's over, as wild as I feel like that's going to be, I definitely feel like there's a reset. I think the draft is coming probably next week, if I had to guess. Usually they give it like a week or two to hype it up, get everyone like ready to watch and stuff. And then I think the rosters are going to completely shuffle. I think it's going to be one of those wild ones. Like I still think somehow they're going to split up the belts. Of course, we'll get into that more tomorrow. But SmackDown literally ended with Roman only holding up the WWE Championship belt. He didn't hold up the Universal title. So I feel like there's something to it because the way they've been writing the Bloodline story, they don't put small things in there that don't mean anything. Like, so I do think we're going to go back to, I'm hoping they bring back that big gold belt that was the WCW championship. I hope that's the SmackDown one instead of Universal. So, I don't know. Top to bottom. No, go ahead.
I kind of want to see them. How it'll have them go back to just one title between the two shows, and obviously, if you need to go ahead and cross platform, you can go ahead and do that. It probably would be a little bit more complicated. It's definitely easier having two belts, one for Raw and then one for SmackDown. But it kind of just puts I don't know. I guess it kind of, like, as a competitor, it's kind of be like, well, what's that guy on the other show doing? What makes him so great? Like, oh, I could take him. Kind of that curiosity, kind of that fiery edge.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, just that's just like my kind of take. Like, obviously, if you were just gonna go ahead and one single belt, you would have to put a lot of thought into it. But after a reign like Roman's, going on, I think it was like what, 3 years, just about 3 years. Yeah, he'll be shy about a month after tomorrow, because I mean everybody can go ahead and read between the lines what's going to happen tomorrow, whether you like it or not. Yeah. After a long reign like that, you kind of have to hit the hard reset on everything and try to go ahead and line things back up.
push the big red button and reset everything. I feel like though if they were to split, because technically the brands are split now, and generally speaking, even though Roman obviously and Cody and the Usos and KO and Sammy and them have been bouncing from show to show, technically the brands are split. Um, I feel like it would open up more opportunities if we actually went with the brand split after the draft, like these belts are Raw, these belts are SmackDown, and then like each show has its own specific roster. I feel like people that we don't normally see a lot would get more chances, which is always a good thing. I feel like guys like Montez Ford, there'd be room for him to break out on his own as a single star.
Yeah.
Got Gable, just different. There's just more time available. I feel like,
That's true.
but yeah, going back to Mania, top to bottom, I thought it was pretty solid. I wouldn't. I guess I could agree that if I had to pick a match that wasn't like that didn't like blow me away, it was probably the 6-woman tag. I'm not counting McAfee and Miz as an official match. It was entertaining. Yes, it was a match, but that was just the entertainment, the kind of like, okay, take a breath after Charlotte and Rhea before the main
Yeah.
event starts.
Right. Yep.
Charlotte and Rhea straight up killed it, bro. Like
I think that might be match of the night. No BS. Like, and I'm not even trying to like. Yeah, that was crazy. That was just.
that was a fight.
Yeah.
Once it
For
got
sure.
going, like they of course, like we expected, they had their whole like feeling out kind of process. Once that got going, oh man, bro, like there were so many times where I really thought Charlotte was gonna take it, and I was just thinking, like, oh, not again.
Yeah, cause
Not even
I was. Man, I agree. No, I was just gonna say I was gonna agree. I agree.
that was
Woo.
that. We definitely like we're brothers for life, no doubt about it, no question. But with wrestling, we definitely have some clashing opinions a lot of times. Which I mean, I love it. I love it personally. It makes for good content. 'Cause it would be a lame podcast if all we ever did was just agree. Like, what you think of the show? Oh, it was super dope. Oh, I loved it too. Like,
Right. No, it definitely it
but
makes for better. Yeah, for sure, better content.
but we definitely can agree on that. Rhea and Charlotte. I don't. If the main event, and we're gonna get into it, if the main event, because we don't need to go match by match, y'all see the ticker down below, the match results ticker. If you have a question about a certain match, go ahead, comment. But we're here to talk about the meat and potatoes of the night. So Charlotte and Rhea, absolute banger. Props to Rhea, #1 in the Rumble this year. No easy feat. Goes on to win it. Goes on to Mania, gets the co-main event, and beats Charlotte in not just the best women's championship match in Mania history, but that's up there with one of the best world title matches of all time. It's up there. I'm not gonna say it's the one, but it's in there. That being said, and this, I knew the way that main event went, I was like, oh, I hope I could get Chris on tonight for the show. Like, I was like, oh man. That main event blew me away. I'm gonna let me jump on my soapbox for just a minute, just a minute or two, and then I'll give you your time. I promise. That bro, that wow, just I'm still in shock. Like we knew it's one of those, like I talked about it so many times. Like even before I had you hop on with me doing
Yeah.
these, I talked about it so many times that sometimes the result is predictable, but it's about the road getting there. And I feel like that's what made this main event so great. It's up there top 10 for me in Mania history. Like I'll just jump off a cliff and say it. Um it's good that I have all of Twitter agreeing with me for a change, so that's dope. I'll take that win while I can. But before I piss them off tomorrow. But yeah, no, it's just I thought it was great. I love the subtle nods to the Bloodline story. I love that KO and Sammy gave a nod to their roots in the independent scene in LA. In their entrance. It was just little. If you're not like a diehard, like obsessed with wrestling, live it, breathe it, crap it every day, like me, you would have caught it. But there was some stuff in there, and just the way, just when you think about it, like as a wrestling match, it's dope. Just like for a second, just think like you and your best homie of all time coming up in the same industry y'all are passionate about together. Y'all been struggling for years, and then you finally get the chance to main event WrestleMania as a tag team, and you win the tag championships. Like the emotion there was so raw and real, I could feel like, which I thought was super dope. And the way it ended with Sammy finally, first the kickouts, like shout out to the Attitude Era. Everyone's talking about bringing the Attitude Era back, blah blah blah. Bro, that was some Rock and Austin stuff, hitting a finisher and kicking out of it constantly over and over. Like that was crazy. Them kicking out of the 1D, freaking kicking out of the stunner, the haluva kick. Like it was, bro, it was wild. And then like, all right, this is the last part, and then I'll let you jump into it because I'm kind of having a fanboy moment. But um, the ending, and I didn't catch this until I rewatched the clip of it on Twitter before we hopped on. When Sammy hit I forget if it was the first or second kick on Jay in the corner. It was the first one, and Jay dropped to his knees. I didn't catch what Sammy told him. I thought he said, "I'm sorry." But like Jay drops to his knees and Sammy looks at him, holds Jay's head in his hands and tells him, "You did this, Oos." Puts him back up, haluva kick twice, gets the pinfall, 1, 2, 3. Chef's kiss, my guy. It doesn't get better than that. Well, until Cody wins tomorrow. But
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch any of that. Did they really do that?
yeah, absolutely. Like the Sammy part. It was like real. Like I didn't catch it because we were watching it on the TV, on the living room TV over here. I didn't I didn't catch it at first, but then I was scrolling through Twitter and I rewatched the clip of it, and I could hear it like audibly. Sammy tells Jay, "You did this, Oos," or "You wanted this, Oos." So.
Oh, okay. I did not catch that. I figured that, you know what? I thought they were gonna. I didn't catch it, and I kind of figured that Sammy would have one of those moments with Jay, kind of like Shawn Michaels had with Ric Flair when he retired him, right before the
I'm
Super
sorry,
Kick.
I love you joint.
Yeah. I didn't. I figured they would do something like that, and when the last one happened, I didn't see any of that, so I was kind of disappointed. I thought that would have been like a good, like I don't know, like a good ending to it. Like I would have been. I thought that would have been cool, but maybe I just missed it. The part that you're talking about.
Could have been because it was one of those matches where you're so invested in it that you miss the little stuff like that.
Right.
So, but all right, lay it on. You got free reign. Give me your thoughts on that whole. I know you got a lot to say.
As far as that match goes, I mean, it kind of we all. I mean, the point of wrestling is that you never you know what's gonna happen. It's just one of those things that it's premeditated. So for them to act like, or to obviously you have to sell it. You didn't know that you were gonna win. It kind of just happened authentic. Obviously they tell you you're gonna win. But but you still obviously again you still have to act. You still have to go ahead and act it out. So I thought they did a good job of acting it out and portraying that raw emotion that you didn't know that was going to happen, even though you really did. Great storyline. I was bouncing ideas with a buddy of mine, like how it probably could have been better and easier to swallow. But nonetheless, good storyline. Obviously, let's team up and go ahead and take down the bad guys type of feel-good story. So I mean, of course, that's going to go ahead and work. Those always work. So obviously, the company, the company did what it needed to do to play it safe. I would have to me, it doesn't make sense. And after those four tag teams, you can't tell me that a team like the Solos or Ricochet and Braun didn't deserve it more. And they'll probably go ahead and set them up for it.
I think so.
I'm excited for it, but I definitely as far as I think entertainment value, I think the Solos versus the Usos would have been probably more entertaining because of just the style, the high flying action, quick. Sammy and Fat Ass can't really go ahead and do all that. So as far as like what I like in my wrestling, I like that. I like for the entertainment factor. Um, but obviously, Sammy KO, they still have to go ahead and put on a show. They put on the show. It was great. I'm not gonna sit here and say it just because the Usos didn't win. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't like it. I did like it. I loved it. I think we're all in agreement that the first probably 15, 20 minutes of that match was boring as shit. But it picked up. It definitely picked up probably towards obviously towards the end. Um, I'm interested to see what's going to go ahead and happen as far as like the tag team um, dynamic after the shuffle and everything like that. I'm interested to see what's going to go ahead and happen after that.
True, very true. I think that's going to be a big part of it. A lot of shuffling around. I also think that the 4-way tag match was a low key number one contender match. I can definitely see once the bloodline stuff kind of because Backlash there's going to be a bunch of rematches, probably some stuff with the bloodline.
Yeah.
Like I think it's going to be probably Cody, KO, and Sammy against the Usos and Roman, and that'll be kind of like Roman's last match before he takes a long break. But after that, once we kind of like hit that reset, I do think the Street Profits are going to be one of the first since they won the 4-way tag tonight. But yeah, no, I'm gonna have to watch it later, watch the main event later on from an analysis standpoint. But whew, like my heart's still going like doo 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 doo.
Yeah.
That was wild.
No,
That
it
was
was really
wild.
good. It was really good. They definitely put on the show. Awesome stuff. Can't deny that. No matter if it goes your way or if it doesn't.
And I think you can agree with me on this as much as you might not want to. I feel like, and I was just talking with someone on Twitter about this before I jumped on too. I feel like KO and Sammy winning against the Usos 100% solidifies Cody's going to win tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah, obviously.
I think that's
Yeah,
like I'll be
obviously, yeah.
stunned, like
Pretty much.
absolutely stunned if Roman wins.
Pretty much. I would if Cody didn't win tomorrow, I would be like, all right, well, they're definitely changing the way they do wrestling because now they're not people can't even predict it. So, and I would
I'm
honestly,
saying
I would have an interesting idea that me and Josh were bouncing around is that what if the Usos actually beat KO and Sammy, Roman still lost, and then Jay or Jay or Jimmy or just Jay came at Roman as far as you talk a big game, you're the head of the table, this, that, and the other, blah blah blah, but you can't even keep the titles like I do. Now, give me my respect. I'm head of the table. Kind of a swing of power type of thing. Personally, I like that idea more than what they're doing.
that's I'm intrigued by that actually. Like
It's more of
you couldn't get it done on the big stage.
I liked it more because it's more of an implode than it was somebody coming in for a couple months and so he made Jimmy or he made Jay think about it for 2 weeks and all of a sudden he just wound up coming back anyways.
We got to remember also though, they the whole bloodline stuff started with Jay and Roman gaslighting him and the verbal and mental abuse and stuff. So I feel like
right. So why not have
somehow,
Jay? Why not have Jay and Roman have a feud?
I think that's going to be SummerSlam because Roman needs a break. He's been carrying this company for longer than 3 years, about 5 years straight. So I mean, Roman, go spend some time with the family and all your kids you got. Take a break a few months.
Oh, 100%. All three of them need a break for sure. All three of them need to go. Jimmy needs to learn how to stop drinking and driving. He needs to get his personal life in order. Jay, Roman, yeah, they for sure need a break. They've been carrying, like you said, they've been carrying the company for the last better part of the 3 years. So they for sure 100% need a break. I just don't feel a grudge or a rivalry within a family holds any weight when they both lost. Like Jay doesn't have any room to say like, "Oh, you lost what, bro? You lost too." and I was the big
So,
dog. I was the two belt holder, this, that, and the other. I don't know. A feud between them two just doesn't seem. It just doesn't make sense unless Jay kept the belts with Jimmy, and then they could go ahead and start that internal implosion.
so the way I think it's going to be more complex than just like the fact that they both lost the titles. The way I can kind of see it playing out, because I think we all know that Roman and Cody, it's going to be overbooked to hell with interference tomorrow night. Like, the Usos going to come out, Solo's going to interfere, KO and Sammy going to come out to take out the Usos and Solo, and that's just with without anybody else interfering. Assuming that's just that.
You
I
think so?
think absolutely, 100%. Especially if this is like the end of Roman's historic long reign, it can't just go out with just a good match, a good one-on-one match, and Cody just happens to get him and wins.
See,
It
I
definitely
disagree.
has to be like tying up all the
I don't.
loopholes, freaking all this, and then I think what it's gonna come down to towards the end of the match, I think Roman's gonna. I haven't decided if he's gonna ask for a weapon or a chair or a belt or something, or if he's gonna just ask the Usos to interfere, because Jimmy's gonna do what his brother does. He's shown that the whole Bloodline story. Jimmy
Yeah.
goes where Jay goes, for all intents
Yeah.
and purposes. So I think Roman's gonna essentially be telling the Usos, "Help me out, interfere, blah blah blah," in his tribal chief way, and then I think Jay's gonna say no, or just indicate like, no, we're done, like putting his foot down. He's gonna be like, no, we're done, and Roman's gonna kind of be like, like the Mad King that gets overthrown. Roman's gonna just be shocked, maybe like throw some tears in there for dramatic effect, like it just in disbelief. How can my family turn on me? Because he's the ultimate gaslighter. That's what this whole storyline's about. How it started with him and Jay. That's why I think it's gonna come full circle. I think Roman, the storyline I think they're going to push on TV while Roman's on break is just that he feels he shamed his family, and so he's in like exile or something. And so
I
I think it's going to be that Jay tells Roman no. I think the way I can see it, the way I vision it in my head, the Usos are on the apron. Roman tells them, "Help me, whatever." Because at this point, Cody's kicked out of everything. Get ready for that tomorrow. I'm telling you right now. Cody's kicking out of multiple spears. He's kicking out of multiple Superman punches. He's breaking that damn guillotine chokehold. Cody's gonna look like Iron Man tomorrow. I'm telling you that now. So after this, Roman doesn't know what else he can do to put Cody away. I think Solo will have been dispatched already, or maybe that's who turns on Roman. Maybe it's Solo initiates, kind of like, no, we're done, and that'll be the big like gasp, everyone goes crazy moment, since Solo hasn't really said anything at all up to this point. But then anyway, they hop off the apron, they turn their backs on Roman, walk up the ramp, leave him. Cody hits 3 crossroads in a row or whatever, pins him 1, 2, 3, tears, pyro, everyone's all happy. The end. That's how I that's how I can see it going. I feel like this has to have an epic ending for this storyline, since this is going to be the end of the bloodline. And then once, I don't think Roman's going to return literally at SummerSlam. He's probably going to come back in like July to properly build or restart the whole feud with Jay. I definitely think that's going to be one of the main events come SummerSlam.
you think
How
he'll
would you
main
feel
event?
about all that?
I think he's actually going to go ahead and be clean. Rhea's victory was clean. There was nobody interfered. The Usos and Sammy and KO's their victory was clean. No one, there wasn't even a single low blow in that match. I think
I was shocked.
I think it's just gonna be clean. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a clean one. I wouldn't be shocked if there was interference, but I also don't think like everybody knows, like, man, the belts are getting moved. Like, just end it. Just get it over with.
True.
So
Do you think the belts are gonna split tomorrow night, or do you think it's gonna happen in the draft with Roman holding up the one title?
I don't know. If Roman's taking a break, no, it doesn't make sense for him to hold on a title if he's gonna go take a break for about 4 months. It just
Or I
doesn't
mean,
make
like
sense.
the other title will probably be vacated. I would assume, maybe like a tournament for it at Backlash or
What up?
something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So unless he's gonna not take a break, the chances of him holding on to one belt go substantially up. But if he's gonna take a break, then no, then Cody will go ahead and probably take both titles.
Yeah, and
until whatever that draft is, or whatever until they're done,
honestly,
whatever they're gonna go ahead and do as far as the rosters.
I'm honestly seeing a week after Mania. So a week from Monday, I think, is when the draft will be. I haven't seen anything that confirms it, of course, but just different sources just saying, hey, this might be that usually get it right. So yeah, I don't know. Definitely, assuming Cody wins, definitely his first feud is gonna be Seth freaking Rollins. 100%. I feel like they're gonna come back, tie that up. I think. And there was even an interview this weekend. Did you see that interview with Rollins?
If Seth Rollins is he's just a cry ass baby. I don't know if that was real or if that's a promo. If it's a real one, he's a crybaby, prima donna. If it's a fake one, then yeah, obviously they're gonna go ahead and set it up. If that's the case though, I wasn't lying. I will take a break from wrestling.
You did see you saw the Rollins interview with Daniel Cormier, where he's I'm not comfortable with. I can kind of see it. I can kind of see his mindset. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was 100%. He went on an interview with a UFC guy, which has nothing to do with the sport you're in. Yeah, 100% gimmick, which doesn't really make any sense. Like I would figure he would go talk to Greg Rosenberg or somebody in the someone that covers wrestling, but he went to that was a little bit odd.
Daniel Cormier. Well, he's been supposedly like a lifelong all these celebrities say they're lifelong WWE fans, so it's like. But it definitely seemed pretty gimmicked. You can tell that it's pretty like oh okay, so that's where we're going after this is all over. I'm cool with it. They put on bangers when they fought before Cody got hurt. I'm good with it. I obviously don't think Cody's gonna like drop it or anything, but that's dope, I guess. So last question, and then we're just gonna hit some predictions for tomorrow. I won't keep you too long, I promise. The question everyone wants to know: you're his biggest fan. Does Dwayne show up at any point tomorrow?
No.
At all? You don't think so?
Absolutely. No. That man's too busy. He's too busy running a football league, doing all his other movies and shoots and stuff like that. All his other commitments. He's a dad. He's a husband. No, absolutely not.
He could show up, walk down the ramp, stare at Roman. How dope would that be? Like Roman,
he
Roman's all sad and upset.
No,
and he comes out.
No, he's not supporting Roman. Look,
not to support Roman. I mean, because The Rock's the real head of the table in a Samoan dynasty. I mean, like, what if he comes out and gives Roman like an eyebrow and like a disappointed and then just leave? That's like.
No, because that's already that's people are gonna start speculating like, oh, is The Rock gonna come back, put him in his place?
That could be like the kickoff to Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 40.
No, hell no. Hell no. Listen, if The Rock was gonna come back at any point in time in WrestleMania, this would have been the year. But then that also would have meant that he would have gave Vince or Triple H some kind of commitment for a certain period of time that he would actually make appearances and actually defend the belt. I don't see him doing that since it didn't happen. I don't see him doing that anytime at all, let alone anytime soon. Because he's not going to come back just to go ahead and promote a storyline that I'm the head of a table if there's no belt involved. I don't think it's worth his time.
Why not?
It's not, honestly, it's not worth his time.
What? If you bring in the whole Samoan dynasty, you add Tamina to the bloodline. You got the Usos, you got Solo, you got Roman.
If you're a real wrestling fan, even a mid-tier wrestling fan, you know who the real head of the table is. Okay,
I know, but like
you don't need to have a wrestling match to decide that. No, he co-signed for him because he knew he wasn't gonna come back anytime soon. But if you look on his face, he's like, they really got me co-signing this clown. Like he's not the head of the table.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you come back, and it's The Rock. He's gonna main event whatever match he's in, whether it's a title or not. So like,
Nah, he's done. I think he's done doing matches like that. I think the last one he did was with John Cena, and he purposely said, okay, I'll lose against John Cena. I don't know why. Oh, it's to give up the belt because he knew he wasn't gonna be around. So of course he said like, yeah, I'm not gonna be around here. I'll give up the belt. He's not gonna do that with Roman Reigns just for a grudge match. He doesn't have to.
it would be so much more than a grudge match, though. Like it would be the true ending to the whole Bloodline story.
The bloodline.
I don't know.
The bloodline was cute. Listen, I didn't like the bloodline storyline when it first started off. It grew on me. It took me a little while to like it. I ended up loving it. But I have to be honest, it was cute for the last 3 years. We all know who the real Tribal Tree bloodline is since 1997 when he came in.
Rocky Maivia with them damn tassels.
Rocky Maivia with the pineapple top curly hair when he still had hair and he had blue ribbons coming out of his arms.
The man looked like a whole pineapple when he made his debut. I'm sick. When I see clips of him now, it upsets me. Wanted to give a quick shout out. Homie Luis is in the chat. He agrees with it. He says, yeah, he's done.
Yeah, it's not worth his time. It's not worth his time anymore. The only thing I can see him doing, the only thing I can see Rock doing is like promoting someone or promoting a match or promoting like the 1500th episode of Raw or something like that. That's the only thing I see him doing.
Something non-physical.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do it. It's honestly now at this point not beneath him, but it's like he just doesn't need to.
Because he makes a lot more money doing less.
It's not even that. It's that he even though his career was short, it literally only lasted 7 years. It lasted less than 10 years. He did so much in that small 7 years. And then he, obviously he came, back for like, 8 months, a year, sprinkle on 6 months to a year here and there. So in all, it probably did last about 10 years, but he did so much for the WWE and for people and stuff like that. He just doesn't need to. He's got bigger stuff too. Like I said, he's running a football league. He still has all his movies that he's doing. He's still doing the Rock show. He has his own company. Like he would literally, he would have to wake up one day and tell himself like, okay, I'm gonna get stuff prepared for me to go back to WWE for a year, but it can't happen for another 2 years because I got XYZ to take care of. But then I think he's like 50. I think he's pushing 55.
He's around there, I think.
Yeah, so like he's not a Ric Flair. He doesn't love it like Ric Flair. He never did. He's just not one of those guys. Like I could maybe see him doing like a Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens type thing. Like it's not going to be a whole lot of build up. It's not going to be a whole lot of appearances. It's basically going to be a month of someone calling him out, him responding a month out, and it's going to have to be a WrestleMania main event like it was for KO
So let me stop you right there then. So you mentioned how him and Roman in ahead of the table storyline would be beneath him. Don't you think that would be beneath him? An unplanned, unpromoted kind of like how they did with Austin and KO, where Rock just shows up to beat up some chump.
You're right.
Like, wouldn't that be more beneath him though? Like, if he comes back, I feel like he would want a fully fleshed out story.
Because if he did something for the bloodline, that would basically be him subconsciously admitting like, damn, yeah, I never was the leader of the tribe, or I never was that guy. He was. He's not going to go ahead and give him the satisfaction of taking the match for that title when we all know that he really still is that guy. So yes, that would be more beneath him than just taking a grudge match, like someone calling him out and or maybe he wants to help boost somebody up. Maybe he takes a liking to a certain character or a certain wrestler. He wants to boost them up. Like you still gonna go ahead and take this L, but we're gonna go ahead and put on a hell of a match, and people are gonna go ahead and you're gonna be put on notice. People are gonna notice you, but you're still gonna go ahead and take this L. Like I'm not gonna go ahead and come back just to lose.
Right. Interesting stuff. All right, with that, because I definitely want to get predictions for tomorrow. We'll just get the one that we both, I think it's safe to say, care about the least out of the way. The women's 4-way tag, which I say that, but then I didn't think there would really be anything with the men's 4-way tag, and that was one of the better matches tonight. So tomorrow with the women's 4-way tag, we have Liv and Raquel against Natalia and Shotzi, against Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, against Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, who apparently has a fractured arm, coming into the match. I want to pick Ronda and Shayna. I'm not going to overthink it. Yeah, I'm going to pick Ronda and Shayna. That match might be better than we think.
Don't care. I only recognize about 2 or 3 names.
He said, whatever. That's going to be when I go get a refill and some chips and my soda.
That's probably when I'm gonna. That's probably when I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap to recharge for all the other matches, because had I known that the girls match this week or for today was gonna be like that, I would have taken that 20-minute nap so I didn't feel tired towards the end.
Sorry, for which one?
The Trish Lita match. Yeah, I wish I would have known it was going to be like that, because I would have taken my 20-minute power nap and then, so I could go ahead and get ready for the other one. No disrespect at all, because I'm not going to go ahead and sit here respectfully. It just doesn't work out when there's a whole lot of them like that.
It just wasn't your cup of tea. I personally enjoyed it.
Which is weird. Which is weird, because I will say this: the women's Rumble was amazing.
Dope. It was just maybe it was just the flow. I did see a couple of things off.
Maybe.
You have those veterans in there. Neither of them wrestled in a while between Lita and Trish. There's just kind of some communication, some cues were a little off. Yeah, it was just, I get it.
Yeah, and the Rhea and Charlotte Flair, like I said, that probably was match of the night for me. So so it's not like I have something against.
They cooked.
Let them.
I can't wait to watch that match back and really watch it, to analyze it, break it down. Chefs.
Man, bro. Hey,
so
Rhea Ripley
too. Yeah, dude, I was so sure Trish was gonna turn heel on Becky after the match, and then it just ended, and I was kind of like, oh, okay.
Right.
That's what the match was like. It was good enough. That's what I found myself saying. I expected a little more from it too, and it ended, and I was just like, okay, that's cool. What's next? Ray and Dom? Okay, dope. Let's get it. Which we don't have enough time for me to get into the beauty that was those entrances. Anyway, next match on night 2. The match that I had to steal the whole weekend, and I think you said offline too, the triple threat for the Intercontinental title. Champion Gunther defending against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Who you got winning this one?
I have a feeling they're going to give it to Sheamus, but I want Drew to win it. I want Drew to be pushed. If I'm being honest, I want Drew to be pushed to challenge Cody, not Seth Rollins.
I think Drew's going to get his shot. I think if he stays on SmackDown and they split the titles, and Cody, I'm assuming Cody would end up the Raw champion. I wouldn't be shocked if Drew ends up being the SmackDown champion. To be honest, he's always been that main event kind of.
Real quick, since you mentioned that, I was thinking, actually, you know what? It wouldn't be that hard to go ahead and actually have the way they used to do it. Just have all the wrestlers, whoever you have on your roster, do what they used to do back in the day. Show up for Raw and SmackDown. You don't have to split up the roster, just so it could be one heavyweight belt, one tag. I don't know. I think I like that format better than
the split rosters.
Than they have it now, because you think about it. You only get, as a fan, to see your favorite wrestler one time a week. Why not 2 times a week?
That's true. But then
And then
also
some.
we can debate this all freaking
Okay.
night because I'm of the mindset that like I said earlier, it gives more wrestlers more opportunities. So you said that you only see your favorite wrestler once a week. It gives you a chance to be a fan of other wrestlers that you probably didn't know before.
Doggy
That's just
dog
how I look
world.
at it.
Doggy dog world.
I mean,
We
you're right.
we
You're right.
we coddle too much, man. In this business, it's a performance based business. If you're not performing, and if you're not take the crowd don't like you. I told you this the other day. If I was a superstar, if I was a wrestling superstar, and they gave me a budget for an entrance, first impressions are everything. I'm blowing all my forget my costume. I'm blowing all my
Pyro.
budget on my entrance. So the first impression is like, holy crap, this dude had an awesome entrance. So even if I wind up losing, like, you know what, that guy with the bomb ass entrance, I like that.
Right. And that's why I think we barely saw any pyro tonight because I honestly feel like Cody's gonna have a between Cody and Roman, they're gonna have a ridiculous pyro
Bro,
budget tomorrow.
that Rhea and Charlotte
Ridiculous.
entrances, although Rhea and Charlotte had the best match of the night, their entrances was the worst of the night.
It was just simple. Charlotte had the pyro, like I think the only pyro of the night. But yeah, they were just
Their entrances were
nothing to it there.
doo doo.
Going back to the IC title match though, if Sheamus wins, he's gonna be a Grand Slam champion. Basically meaning he's won all the titles. So a lot of people are picking Sheamus to win. I just feel like Gunther. It's the same, and we'll get into it a little more. This is why I'm not completely ruling out Roman winning, is because WWE Creative, they're in love with history. Like Roman being so close to 1,000 days as champion, Gunther being super close to being the longest Intercontinental champion of all time. I gotta go with Gunther on this one. I think Sheamus will end up getting it, but I don't. Yeah, for Mania, I think Gunther is gonna take it.
So it's either
Um,
between Gunther and Sheamus because you just said it. If they're in love with history, Sheamus winning it would make him Grand Slam champion. That's history.
that's true. That is true. That's why unfortunately I don't see Drew winning it unless they decide to shock
That makes.
everybody.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like them two, either one of them being the favorite for history reasons, quote unquote, than
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre. And if I was Drew McIntyre, if I didn't win it, I'd go to Vince and Triple H, cancel my contract. You don't have to pay me out. I'm going to AEW.
he's actually in his contract year this year, so I guess we'll have to see. He's
don't
definitely got another world title run in
don't
him.
resign.
I think.
You never know with this company. You never know. Don't resign, Drew. Don't resign until it's in the contract that they guarantee you the belt for at least 6 months.
Hashtag I stand with Drew McIntyre.
100%.
All right, so the next match, this match might steal the night. Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor inside Hell in a Cell.
Don't care. I honestly don't care.
What?
I don't care. The only thing that's making
What?
the only thing that's making this interesting is that it's Hell in a Cell. But other than that, I don't care. I don't care about Edge and I don't care about Finn Balor.
The entrances are gonna be so fire. Like Drew
The entrances
McIntyre
will be fire for dope. Cause I like Finn Balor. Any kind of entrance that does
as the
cosplay.
Demon.
I'm talking about his entrance. Any entrances
Yeah.
that involve the crowd and involve crowd participation, Cody, Seth Rollins,
What?
exactly. Like I ain't gonna lie, Cody Rhodes' entrance song. I was listening to it. I've been listening for 2 days. It's a really really good song. I like it, and I like what it says. And Cody Rhodes was smart for playing that because I don't know if they actually wrote it for Cody or if this was already written, but like the lyrics speak perfectly for like a performer, like a wrestler or something or a performer.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, Edge, I don't care. Finn Balor, I don't care about that either. It just hasn't been enough there for me to go ahead and get invested. There's not like, okay, so they had an argument one time and then all right, and then they go back and forth. There just wasn't enough for me.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Actually, is that the feud because it's been a year-long feud.
But it's been, and that's more my point. It's been a year-long feud, but nobody remembers that. Nobody knows that. To me, they got into it one time, and then that's it. Oh, all of a sudden it's a WrestleMania match, Hell in a Cell. I'm like, how? There's nothing. There's no lead up.
because Edge started Judgment Day last year around Mania. Rhea and Priest joined him, and then Finn Balor joined him. But then Balor, Priest, and Rhea turned on Edge, and then
But
it
then
became them versus Edge, and then them versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. I get your point though. I don't disagree with you. This needs to be it though. The Hell in a Cell gotta be it. Like for Edge and the Judgment Day.
it's gonna
This
be
man
one
is on borrowed time. Like
he is 100% on borrowed time. But it honestly has the potential to be the worst match of the 2 weekends.
with that
Because
other
nobody's
4-way tag.
because there's nobody invested. Like
I think it's the polar opposite. I think from a
there was
visual presentation standpoint, just because check this out. There's a rumor that we might see Edge do the old school Brood entrance with Gangrel tomorrow. Tell me that wouldn't be dope as hell.
not really. Gangrel was a clown. He was one of those he was one of those gimmick ones. He was one of those gimmick characters.
How are we?
Like
This is why me, you, and Josh need to start a podcast. All three of us. How are you guys trying to convince me Goldust deserved a world title run, but you against Gangrel? What?
Because A, he was Dusty Rhodes' oldest son. B, he could actually wrestle. And C, yes, his character was a gimmick, but it was one of those best gimmick characters that ever was created by somebody by him. Period. Gangrel was a gimmick vampire.
That was dope in the '90s, dude.
No,
What?
it was not. No, it was
Coming
a lot
out
cooler. It was a lot
the Ring
cooler
of
after
Fire?
Twilight came out to pretend you're a vampire than it was before.
Stop
Also,
playing, bro.
Also, Edge and Finn Balor, they didn't have no grudge matches. They had tag team matches that didn't lead to anything. There was no Finn Balor versus Edge, SummerSlam. No Finn Balor versus Edge, War at the Castle, or any of that.
This lends to your point. Sorry to cut in. This lends to your point. They've had a singles match on pay-per-view. I don't remember which pay-per-view it was at. Like they've had one where it was just one-on-one. I don't remember which one it was at. Like I know
About Edge and I care for Balor, but I don't really care about Edge all that much, to be honest. He was never really he wasn't ever really one of my guys. Even when he did the whole R-rated superstar with Lita, even when I definitely didn't like him when he was acting like an idiot with Christian. For me, he just never was one of my favorites.
all I'm gonna say is I hope tomorrow at Josh's house he's okay with some marking out moments. I'll try not to yell loud. I might flip out a little bit if they do the Brood entrance.
We geek out all the time, so I'm pretty sure it'd be fine. We geek out all the time.
Okay. Real quick, so Luis jumped in. He said, Hell in a Cell feud is dragged out, and it feels like it doesn't matter because they just keep it going, but it's meh. So
Exactly.
He essentially agrees with what you're saying.
Exactly. The only reason why people are going to go ahead and care about this because it has the aura, quote unquote, Hell in a Cell because of the stigma that Hell in a Cell holds. That's the only reason why this match is being created or is being held.
I mean, personally, I'm super excited about it. Just saying. I don't know, but I get your point. I agree with you. Like I am excited because it's Hell in a Cell. If it was just Edge against Finn Balor 1-on-1 regular, even with the fancy entrances and the Brood and the Fire and stuff, I'd be not as excited. It's literally because it's Hell in a Cell.
Tell me this wouldn't make Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns that more exciting. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns to end the bloodline, to fulfill a lifelong dream for his family. Hell in the Cell match for the titles.
If you drop it with the soundbite where someone says it all gravelly, Hell in a Cell. It's just that's what it is. And it's historically
that just made that match. That's the weight of Hell in a Cell match has that it can how much it can uplift the match.
Yeah.
That Hell in a Cell quote is basically carrying Finn Balor versus Edge.
It's it puts the match in bold basically. And if the leaked match order I saw earlier today is true, it's going on right before Cody and Roman. So there's that. The one good thing is that they're done, like I mentioned to you offline, they're done using that goofy red Hell in a Cell design. Now they're back to the original. I think the original design looks more menacing. and serious,
Yeah.
where it's just like the skill.
Black and dark. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you said that might be the worst match of the whole weekend. Next
It has
match I was going to
potential.
bring up. This is live, you guys. We didn't plan this before we jumped on. Next match to predict is Brock Lesnar versus Omos. You sure about that statement about the cell? I'll give you a chance to redact that statement, sir. I'm just kidding.
All
That
right.
match, literally, if you set your expectation at this bar, this match will be 5 minutes. It's going to be them doing constant finishers to each other. They're probably going to mess up. Brock's going to hit him with the F5. Everyone's going to, like they did when Braun Strowman got German suplexed earlier. Everyone's going to be like, he F5'd the big guy. Brock's going to get the pin, 1, 2, 3. That's going to be it.
Okay.
Keep your expectation right there.
I'm going to say this. I'm not going to go ahead and completely retract my statement, but I will go ahead and add that this also has the potential to be the worst match of the 2 days. And also, if the women's match, Brock versus Omos, and the Hell in a Cell match, if they're consecutive, I'm about to have an hour-long nap. I will go ahead and say
Yeah, that's even the homie Luis squash. That's what I'm saying. Like, gotta be. Don't let this match be longer than 5 minutes, bro. Legit, I will get up, go refill my drink because you know me, I time the matches for my notes.
It's gonna be as long as the Austin Theory and John Cena match.
God, I hope not. That match was almost 12 minutes.
It wasn't bad though. The John Cena Theory match wasn't bad. I didn't like the one, but it wasn't bad.
That was okay paced. Like that particular match, that style of story, fine. All right, so we'll just leave that match as it is. Talk about it tomorrow. Next, second to last, we have Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair against Asuka, which was my pick for the better women's title match of the weekend. And we saw Charlotte and Rhea went and acted up tonight.
Listen. We both were talking to us off air. You obviously had that pick, and I told you, like, dog, don't sleep on Rhea and Charlotte. And what did I say? And what happened? Rhea and Charlotte was cooking. Now, obviously, you're still gonna go ahead and keep your pick as you should, but it's got some big shoes to fill, and I don't see Bianca being as athletic as Charlotte and Rhea. Not to say that she's not good or has her own athleticism. It's just gonna be hard to live up to. But that one I think is gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a very good match.
Who you got taking it?
Oh God.
They're building Asuka as a threat now.
I think Asuka's gonna take it. I like both of them as much the same, so I don't have any stake on this one. I like both of them the same, so I'll just go who I think will win, and I think Asuka's gonna win.
I can see. Like I'd mentioned, this feels like a Mania where it's going to be reset, where a lot of the titles are going to switch. Bianca's had it for a year, I think exactly, dating back to last WrestleMania. I love Bianca. It's time. I think Asuka's going to take it. I can definitely see it being a different style of match than Charlotte and Rhea. I could see Bianca and Asuka being more like a technical kind of a match with like submissions and Asuka working on Bianca's like arm or something. More like that. But I'm expecting a lot from it for sure. Last but not least, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, versus the heir to the throne, the Prince himself, Cody Rhodes.
I mean, it doesn't really matter who you want to win or who you like. Cody Rhodes is going to win, period. Now, the real question is whether or not he's going to get both titles or if he's going to get one title.
Are we, and Luis, feel free to chime in on this one in the comments. Are we absolutely certain Roman wins or Roman loses after tonight?
100%. Are you
absolutely?
kidding me? Yeah. Listen,
you know,
I
get
been
it. Shocked before.
Listen, I get it. You're being a good host, leaving open the doors of possibilities, but everybody knows. If you never watched wrestling and we asked you that question, you would have picked Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is 100% winning this. It's not even a question. Like I said, it's not even a question who's going to win. It's more of a question is he going to get both belts or is he going to get one belt?
Say it again.
The real question is he going to get one belt? Is he going to get two belts? Because that's going to go ahead and tell you everything you need to know for the future, whether or not they're going to split up the roster, whether or not they're going to go ahead and all that roster questions, roster mania is all predicated on if Cody wins both or if he wins one of the belts.
I don't. Are we sure? Like, I don't know if we'll find out tomorrow night though if he's gonna just roll with one or the two. I don't think we'll find that out till probably Raw.
I think so.
On Monday.
I think so. It's like you said, those settle points. If he lifts both of them up, okay, he's keeping both. If he lifts one of them up, chances are he's only taking one.
Right.
Roman's going to come out with both of them, but I mean that doesn't mean anything.
Right. Excuse me. Luis says, Luis, this is literally how I feel. I can't get the 1,000 days out of my head, dude. So he says, I hope Cody wins, but Roman will probably take it. It's too close to 1,000 days.
If Roman wins and then just vacates it because he's going to go on break and then they do a tournament at Backlash or a Monday or Backlash, and then obviously Cody is going to go ahead and take it, you're not going to want to be my friend for the next month.
That's going to be bad, isn't it?
Because I'm never going to let you hear the end of it. You're going to get sick of me talking about Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns and stuff like that and all that.
Well, I mean, like, that's fair. Like, so I'll take it. I'll take it like a champ. Because I've been laying the Cody stuff pretty thick on you for a while, like since he came back. So I'll take my lumps. You didn't at first.
Here's the thing. I like Cody. I never said I didn't like Cody. I like some of his moves. I love his entrance. I love his entrance. Everything about it is perfect to me. I like Cody. I like his moves. He's actually surprisingly very, very good on the mic. Very, very good. Better than I thought he would be, and better than I give him credit for. The only thing I had a problem with Cody wasn't Cody. I had a problem with the company, like basically fast tracking his progress of him taking the belts after he got hurt. Like, it sucks. He got hurt. It's not planned, but it happens. Don't punish the fan by shoving him down our throats because all of a sudden you guys are behind schedule a year. That's what I had the biggest problem.
With them being so adamant to stick to the plan through his injury.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
like, what's wrong with postponing the plan a year or 6 months? There's nothing, and it's not going to make a big difference besides just people being able to go ahead and invest and start to grow Cody. Like I did. Like, I grew to like Cody. Like, I remember Cody when he first came in. Then I remember when he would start trying to be Stardust and be a tag team with his big brother. Then he just bounced because that wasn't really, like, working out. He went to AEW. You told me about it. He went to AEW. He did his thing. I did my research. Blew up the company. Blew himself up. Came back because, they obviously offered him a sweet deal. He's like, cool, I get it. That's like wanting to go to the NBA, didn't make it, went G League, didn't make it, went to go play overseas. They saw your talent, like, hey, okay, like, sorry we didn't see your talent before, but we see it now. Here's a big-ass contract. Come back. Come where you really want to play. There's no shame in that, and that's what he did. I don't knock him for that. In my book, he gets no shade from me on that. Like, I get it. I 100% get it. Like I said, I just never liked that they were shoving him they were basically forcing down that pill down our throat because he got hurt, so they feel like they have to make up time. But other than that, Cody's awesome.
Louis says, my dude, I've hated Roman Reigns since the Shield, but the booking has started to skew the way VKM, Vince Kennedy McMahon, used to book effing shenanigans. Luis, get ready for shenanigans in the main event tomorrow night, my guy.
It sounds like me and Luis pretty much have the same standpoint on things.
You guys are very, very similar. He loves a lot of indie wrestling also. He actually turned me on to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He used to actually be my boss. We used to work together. Funny enough. For the most part, you guys with WWE, you guys have very, very similar opinions. So, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a thing. I hope Cody wins. Oh my God, because we know if Cody doesn't win, Roman's not dropping that belt until May 27th, King of the Ring.
Probably not. Yeah, if he wins it, they're not gonna just. gosh, if he wins it and then they make him give it up so fast, gosh, that's gonna be a really bad taste in the mouth.
Who,
But
Cody?
I don't
If they
with
if they make
anybody
Cody give it up?
with any it's gonna Cody's not gonna like it. His fans aren't gonna like it. The fan base period as a fan of WWE, as you know, as what it represents, not gonna like it. Like he's gonna hold on to the belt for at least a minimum to 6 to 8 months.
I think
Like
he'll hold it till SummerSlam and he's gonna get cashed in on by LA Knight.
if yeah, no, I just think he's gonna go ahead and hold it on for a while. Like he has to. That's crazy. Like if they don't.
He'll have a lengthy reign for sure. Because the way I think about wrestling, I feel like you should book championship reigns typically to how do I explain it? To your big events. You know how like WWE has their big four? So like Cody wins at Mania, give him a title reign until SummerSlam type thing. Or give him a title reign until Survivor Series. That's how I'm looking at it. I feel like you're probably close to the mark, 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
I definitely think he's gonna lose by cash in, whoever Money in the Bank is, whether it's Gunther, whether it's LA Knight.
That's you know what I would like to see more of LA Knight. I really would. Like I didn't really get to see him a whole lot in AEW. When your cousin told me about him, and then I heard
Oh no, he wasn't LA Knight wasn't in AEW, but
where
he's been like everywhere else. I feel like.
I thought he
So
was
go ahead.
no.
No, not LA Knight. No,
Okay.
go. That's one you have to YouTube. You're gonna hate me for saying this. He's borderline rock good on promos.
Oh no,
Like
that's what I was gonna go
he's
ahead and say.
freaking
Like
good.
no, that's what I was gonna go ahead and say. Like I started looking him up more and more, and like some of his stuff, like he's very like yeah. I listen. I'm not. I won't give anybody Rock S or Rock ish because it's not. Obviously, everybody knows I'm a big Rock fanboy. The Rock is my favorite wrestler, the favorite wrestler, and it doesn't matter if he's my favorite or not. Like Kobe Bryant is my favorite basketball player, but he wasn't the best passer. Magic Johnson was the best passer. Like I'm not gonna be biased.
Yeah, right.
But the level of mic skills that he had though is just
Unmatched.
the goat. But hearing LA Knight and his promos and the way he talks and everything like that and everything comes with it, I will say he's very, 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 very good.
That's your wrestling homework. Do you think Josh is down to have conversations like these? Like, you think he'd be down to a podcast?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because I'm considering if I should bring my laptop and charger over tomorrow. Because tomorrow's gonna be nuts, dude.
Yeah. Bring it over
So
and see what he says. We'll probably have to
yeah,
put the
for sure.
kids. We'll probably have to put the kids to bed, but we could go ahead and record it either in his loft or we can probably record downstairs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
All
some
right.
some of those matches are going to be iffy, so we'll go ahead and like suggest to put the kids to bed earlier, so that way you
Yeah,
know. But yeah,
for sure. But that's about it from night one. That's all I got. You have anything else you wanna put a bow on or anything?
night one was a success.
Banger.
I at least want to have a good match between Cody and Roman. I would like to see a clean one.
It's gonna be
I
good.
don't want to see anybody like interfere on either side. Like I want to just like you know what if you're gonna lose with dignity and pride. You know don't try to go ahead and cheat your way. Like I said, I'm a big Roman fan. I love Roman Reigns. I love what he's done with the company. I love what he's done with his character. You know, he tried being like a just stoic. Then he tried being a babyface. Then he was a heel. Obviously, everybody's in agreement. He's a much better heel than anything else.
Oh, for sure.
So I at least want him to. I at least want I want at least a good match.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll at the very least, it's gonna be a really, really good match for sure. But I just see it being super, super overbooked. Uh, but yeah, no, that's about it for night one.
Who's
Um,
who's opening night? I mean, who's opening tomorrow?
I think rumor has it it's gonna be Brock and Omos.
Okay.
So go ahead, get that out of the way now. But
Dude,
yeah, so
man, well, night two is kind had a week.
Dude, like, and night 2 on paper has a much better card than night 1, and night 1 killed it. Like, oh man. All I'm gonna say, it's not gonna lead into a big conversation. I'm trying really hard not to get my hopes up on this. Bray Wyatt has been spotted in Los Angeles.
Bray Wyatt?
Bray Wyatt has been spotted in Los Angeles. I don't know if he's gonna be there. I don't know if he's visiting. There's a picture taken of him, and you can see because it's like marked. You see signage saying it's at LAX or whatever. So like I mean, I don't know. He might be there. He might just be visiting. I guess we'll see. But you saw how easy it was on night 1 for them to add an unannounced match. So I don't know. But night 2 is going to be dope. Hopefully we can see if we can get Josh on, because I'm sure we're going to have a lot more to talk about tomorrow. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to Luis for hopping on. Thanks to everyone else watching. We'll go ahead and sign this off. This has been the WrestleMania Night 1 post show with Wrestling My Thoughts. I am the one and only Zach Rubio. That's Maverick Jude. This is the Lord Lightskin. And last but not least, this is your next undisputed Universal Champion, Cody Rhodes. Other than that,
Let me do Kobe thing.
what? What Kobe? What? Oh, the Kobe thing? Oh, what the? Oh, okay.
And they shoot it and they make it.
Everyone have a good night. Thanks for watching.